All right, welcome everybody, and I'd personally like to congratulate everybody with a Happy New Year, 2023. Hope this year is abundant and gives room for not only financial growth but self-growth as well, which is very important, especially when you're dealing with trading and psychology. And I'm going to kick off, the first video of this year with continuing the spirit of the previous videos, watching one market for the day. Today it's going to be the NASDAQ. Usually I get asked, what markets am I watching? Okay, I'm watching, as you can see here, I've got 6 tabs open for 1-minute charts. I've got the E-mini S&P, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, Russell 2000, crude oil, and gold. But lately I've been trading indexes a lot more than crude oil and gold. NASDAQ is pretty volatile, and if you catch a good trade, it can give you pretty good return. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with some brief analysis. Pre-market, it's 9. Just a little past 9 in the morning. I'm going to wait until after the market opens before considering a trade. So, let's see what we got. I like to zoom out and see, where am I going to draw, some support and resistance lines, right? We see that after Friday's session, we've been going into this range here. So I definitely want to draw a line here. I don't have, it's not reaching a concrete, say, low here, because it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So I'll just draw right through the middle of it. And I'd also like to get an idea for, if price falls down here, I'll draw another line down here, because this was, we had some rally here on Friday, and this was a support. So this is kind of where price is stuck. This first line, this is kind of previous level of support. If price goes down there, and I'd like to get an idea if price rises, but on the 1 minute I can't see anything, so I'm going to switch to 5 minutes. Right, 5 minutes, we can see the entire last week, starting on Sunday, Monday, and we've got kind of like a peak here. All right, so I'd like to draw a line. I'd like to draw a line here too. So I observed these levels before started to record, so that's why I knew where I was going to draw them. Anyway, so I've got a peak here, and I've got 2 levels here. Some things to take note just off the bat, right? Friday, we had a rally. So, the previous trading day, price went up. We had a lot of buying. We had, demand, and price went up. So kind of we're on an uptrend, right? So the last piece of data we got is we were in an uptrend. So is that going to continue? Are we going to have a change of behavior? Are we going to be stuck in a range? I don't know yet. All right. But the fact of the matter is, you see what happened on Wednesday, and then we rolled into Thursday, and then Friday we had the rally. So I'd like to show this here, that we went from a lot of selling here on Wednesday. Thursday sort of dried up. Friday even less. Then we had a change of behavior. Price went up. Okay, so we had this whole reversal here. So that's context. We're going to keep that in mind. All right. So it's pre-market. I'm not going to say much right now. Pre-market, we are seeing some more buying. So we'll see if that leads to continued uptrend or not. I mean, we're not too far away from this resistance level. All right, so we'll go back to the 1 minute. I'm going to put the record on pause. After markets open, if I see a setup, I'll press record, and we'll go from there. All right, so I'm in a trade, a long trade here. It's only a few minutes after the open, so things can be pretty volatile. But I saw an effort result sort of situation, and I'll explain where I got in, where I put my stop, and take profit. So right the get-go, we see here two boxes, this blue box and this red box of similar size, right? Length, right? But this box here is similar length, a lot narrower, a lot more selling, right? And right here, and then right afterwards, we've got it broke this high, which got me interested. Broke this high, which got me interested. We had a total control dot here, right? And I was thinking about getting in, but I didn't want to get in right here. I mean, this candle was wild. It just went, look at that, this huge candle. It went up, what is that, 92, almost 30 points, just the body of it. And, I wasn't sure I wanted to get in up here because it's just, the volatility. But then price retracted, and it was around here I got in. I thought, well, okay, around this level, I'll take the long, and that provided me a better risk to reward than if I took the breakout here, so I waited for it to retract. I mean, we didn't know if that was going to happen or not, but, it did. Another thing here, right? We went from, kind of hard to see with the stop here, but this is minus 97 to minus 63, right? So we had diminished supply here, yet a lot more selling. So we can say this is oversold and an effort no result type of setup, right? So while I mean, we did see some demand, maybe not overwhelming. If we zoom out, we don't have much to compare to yet. But the pace, right? The pace is absolutely huge here, right? So we've got quite a few points of confluence here. The tricky part is, playing the open because, you can get whipsawed. But like I said, I only got in because it retracted here and offered me a better risk reward. Put my stop below the swing. I have about a 2-to-1, almost 2-to-1 risk reward. So actually, that's a decent setup for the risk. We're seeing that buying is coming in. Both the inbox histogram, Kino Delta both show, oversold for the amount of supply since there's minus 63 less supply. Demand came in 377, right? This looks like this box is now surpassing this box, and we had the huge X space right there. So we're already around $7 grand in profit. So that, I like effort result. If you see effort no result like this, I mean, it came down, all this selling, it popped right back up. They wanted to trap all these shorts here, and it just popped right back up. And it looks like it's going up. And we don't know for sure if it's going to hit this or not. But, we've got the bias, I would say, is in our favor. Right? So if we zoom out, yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens. Put the record on. Alright, so we hit profit on the first trade, and looks like price is still roaring on. get the order fills, got in here, got out here. You know, this candle just exploded up. This is the tricky part of managing the trade, because if I zoom out on the 5 minutes, I don't have much guideline beyond this level of resistance. If it keeps going up, is it going to keep going up, or is it going to change a behavior? Well, let's look on the 5 minutes. Okay, on the 5 minutes we got, so far on the 5 minutes, I mean, we don't see surpassing buying for the previous trading day, but we see heavily surpassing X pace. So that could be a precursor. If we see the more buying come in, more demand, then it will have been a precursor. We got another total control dot here. We got expand. See, I like this. 377 to 411. Demand expanded. Demand grew, and the buying grew. It grew. Index pace grew. And meanwhile, we see no selling, no supply. I mean, potentially could have, I guess, an option was to, stay in the trade, but I already had my take profit set. That's all right. We'll see. We'll see if I catch another trade. If it continues going strong with demand and buying, maybe I'll take another long, or we'll see if there's changing behavior, or not. So we're kind of early on in the day, so I'll watch the market for some time, and we'll see if we can catch another trade. Alright, so I'm back in a trade and ended up going long. It's about, I don't know, almost 40 minutes since last trade. I've been watching what's been happening. If we look on the 5-minute chart, huge amount of buying, QL delta histogram, got huge demand. And now it's getting interesting, because the 5-minute, look at that, surpasses previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even more, but that's what I see. Surpass at least 5 of the previous days, the inbox histogram. So we know demand and buying is strong, very strong, right? And I was waiting to see if I was going to get in what the entry would be, and I found my entry finally. Went up to 791, 111, 102, and I got in. Optimally would have been to get in on the breakout of this swing, but I got in a little later because I didn't catch it right away. That's all right. We had this total control dot here. We had another total offer control, right? See, we had a total bid control here, but it didn't really materialize much supply or selling, right? If you see in the QL delta, selling is absent, right? We see some in the inbox histogram, but overall selling is absent, right? The other thing is the X pace here. We see that it's not as strong as previous, but you have to remember that volatility, dies after the open, right? So the first, half hour or more usually have the most volatility, but then it's less. It doesn't mean that necessarily it's going to turn around. I think it's still long bias. It's just volatility is less, right? Here we had a nice buy imbalance in the inbox histogram. I like that. And the thing is, here the overall buying was decreasing. See, I was waiting to see if it would start to go up. Do you see this and this, right? That was happening when this, when we broke out, right? So we had this bump up here before we broke out, and we broke out, and look what happened. We went supply minus 67, minus 59, 0, higher low, We had 3 signals, and this was a double algo right here with the pullback in the Stooges, right? No sell signals at all whatsoever. All right, looking pretty bullish to me. I like the 0. The 0 was, to me, showing no supply. And it looks like our buying is being, renewed here and here. Yeah, so I placed my stop below the 0 swing. That seemed like a good place because that was the place of no supply. Where to put the take profit, I just put it up here. I think that's about 2 to 1, but if this is a trend day, who knows if it can keep going, Is it a trend day? I mean, we had a trend day on Friday. This is weekend, and now we're going up. It's very bullish. Very strong. So it's a very strong setup. So we've seen on the 5-minute chart, let's not forget, look at all that buying. It looks like the cumulative delta starting to surpass the previous 5 days too of buying. So can't forget that either. Very strong setup. So actually, I might have to manage this one manually. I might have to move my stop. My take profit if it's still strong. I don't know. We'll see. But, it's looking good to me so far. So I'll put the record on pause. We'll see what happens. Alright, let's get into action here. I thought I saw something exciting, so I haven't hit my take profit yet. 13,000 pros. I ended up moving my take profit to about 3 to 1. Just because, we went up here, we kind of, zigzagged here, but, I was looking at the cumulative delta. It's just an absence of supply, selling. Absence, total absence, right? And, we had this right here, total bid control, accompanied with very little selling in the inbox histogram and no selling in the cumulative delta. It didn't cross over the 0, despite this big push on the pace of the bids, right? So I just waited it out. And we had only more buy signals, pullback, buying a trend, another pullback. This candle came strong, another total control. Something that's important to see here is we see how many total control of the offers since the market opened. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus how many total control of the bids. 1, 2, 3, right? And only the first one is accompanied with significant selling. Second one ends up being no supply, and the third one ends up being no selling. Whereas the ones with the total offers, they have accompanied demand and buying. Looks like we're just inching up. I could just flatten out now and just take that. It's a huge day for me. Are we one tick away? This always happens. There we go. We're out. 28 grand in profits. Pressed the wrong button. Sorry. 28 grand in profits, and we hit the goal. So it's 11. I don't think I'm going to trade anymore. That's just huge day for me, and I'm very satisfied with the result. After a day like this, I may not even trade for the rest of the week. Pushing almost 30 grand in one day. That's how it usually is. If you have a big day, sometimes it's better to enjoy it. Not push it. So we also see there was a push in the X pace. Cumulative delta, is going really strong now. Maybe it'll continue going even more. This is definitely a trend day. You know, let's see what we see on the 5-minute. Oh, look at that. The Q and delta grew so much. It's very strong. Very strong. You know, and as we can see, you know, when it started to, you know, zigzag here, we got some supply, but still, you know, the selling was really just not there. Right? So, you know, it's interesting. This whole trend day started with an effort result right here. And we also had the effort result on the 5-minute chart. See, this was the box, and then we had this. It produced less length. It's hard to see with all this stuff here. Let's see what it would have looked like. But yeah, I mean, look, this red box is less length than this blue box, right? And it looks like it exerted a tad more selling than this buying. So there's effort result on the 5-minute chart as well. So that effort result kicked off a trend day. It's pretty nice. So effort no result can be pretty powerful. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me a like if you did, and I'll catch you next time.